Good morning. You're listening to the new WCEG Network on WCEG Talk Radio.com or watch us live on your smart TV, YouTube, WCEG Network. I'm attorney Melaney LaGrone, your show host of Beyond the Border. We're the worldwide community empowerment group where we speak all things immigration. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and on Instagram at WCEG_talk_radio and at WCEG Network. Last but not least, the topics and opinions are those of the show hosts and guests and not WCEG Network. Thank you for your continued support. So good morning, everyone. I have today a fabulous special guest, friend, colleague of mine, Elizabeth Garvish of Garvish Immigration Law. And she and I actually, this is like, I think one of those awesome moments because she actually was hosting Beyond the Border back in the day, and she had me on as a guest multiple times, and we just loved being together and talking about all things immigration. And today is our last episode of the season. So it's kind of perfect timing, but we will be back in January. But it's awesome to see Elizabeth, and she is going to talk to you about her law firm. She is a business immigration lawyer, but she has a special kind of unique, twist to the way that she practices law. She is about, I think to me, like the most genuine, sweet, nice, like just heartfelt type of attorney. And that's why all of her clients love her and all of her colleagues love her. And she's going to take it away and talk to you today and answer any questions that you guys might have. Put them, in the chat, DM us, anything on Facebook, Instagram, if you have any questions for us regarding immigration or what you want us to talk about in this hour. And we'll try to get to those questions. Elizabeth.
Hey, Melody, thank you so much. Yeah, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad that we have a successor host to Beyond the Border because I love this show. It was so fun to do. It like got me kind of out in the public speaking a little bit more and just I'm so excited to see you growing as an attorney and now out in the community, and it's amazing. So I got really busy. And so I'm so glad you're like the perfect successor, better than me even. So yeah, I mean, what I've been working on, of course, I'm an immigration law practitioner, and we, of course, are navigating our way through a broken system. We need a lifeline of throw us a life vest because we're sometimes drowning in some issues that I think could be easily solved. This policy and that policy, things are constantly going to change. That's not going to go away. But the one thing that I can do as a lawyer and what I feel like has emerged as my mission is to change the way we as lawyers practice law, change the way we lead our teams, to change the way law firms and other workplaces function. And it all started with me sitting across the table of three men in suits. And I was at a big labor employment law firm. This is the pinnacle. You want to be in the big law. That's what they teach you in law school, right?
Right.
They teach you that, oh yeah, you need to climb your way, work, who cares about your personal life? You need to get to that corner office, at least because we're older. I mean, I'm older. It's probably changing, and I know I'm making it change. And I see young attorneys now, it's a little bit different, but back in the day, like we didn't have many more options than the big law firm. It was just pushed down your throat. So I got there, and I am an entrepreneur. I am a visionary. I'm a futuristic on positivity. I'm woo. I'm, if you know strength finders, like if you do the personality test, I don't fit in. I'm a creative, and so, I managed to get my way through. I'm smart, and I got a lot of good reviews, and I had some supervisors that kind of saw special things in me. But, I found myself merging into this big law firm, and there was a new supervisor and a new managing attorney. And so they pushed my review. We're in the review meeting. I'm like, oh, wow, it's going to be great. I had a great year. I brought in all these clients. It was like so amazing. And they pushed this review across the desk. And then I look at it and I see like not excellent, very good. I see unacceptable, needs improvement. And then I read, does not fit into the group. And so for a minute there, I was like, wow, okay. You want to be accepted, and you want to fit in, and you want to be on the path that has been programmed into your brain. But that day was a turning point for me. And these people that sit in front of you, these authority figures, I mean, they're human beings too, but they tell you a lot of things. And I think supervisors and managing partners, and I mean, people will teach you in different ways. And these guys taught me, these men in suits taught me that you don't belong here. You don't have to listen to your authority figures. You can create your own future. And so that was the day that I had this idea of like, I need to be somewhere happy. I've got to get out of this place, and I definitely don't belong. They just told me I don't fit in 20 times. So I got to find a place where I do belong. And if I have to create that place, then I'll create that place. And so I didn't know what I know now, but eventually I got over enough fear to start my own law firm. And the main thing in my head was just I just want to help as many immigrants as possible. I want to change the world through immigration, but I want to be happy. Mm-hmm. I want people to quit bugging me about you're not at your desk, or you're not wearing the right suit, or this or that, the ridiculous things that just didn't matter. And I wanted to share this time that we spend at work with people that I loved and supported, and that we were in a beautiful, environment. And so that was the idea. And then fast forward 10 years. So about 10 years ago, 2 years ago, almost, I've been working in the law firm for 10 years, doing a lot of things, been able to create my family, and had time to do stuff without someone down my neck about everything. And I was deciding what makes us unique. This was through my entrepreneurial operating system, and going through those exercises about how we want to present ourselves to the public. And this thing popped in my head, and it was we're going to be the happiest law firm in America. Because I was looking back 10 years. I was well, we are the happiest law firm. Everybody feels good. I mean, I've been able to support moms. I mean, myself, I didn't get too much maternity leave, but 3 more maternity leaves, give moms time off. They came back, raring to go, giving flexibility, modeling behavior, leading with love, changing energy in rooms. All of this is comes together with this happiest law firm in America. And so that kind of started maybe 1.5 years ago. And I was that's it. That's what I'm going to do, because I keep meeting young women, and they're just, I got to quit. I can't stay here. This is miserable. A lot of people are just the quiet quitting or the great resignation. I mean, people are not happy where they are. And as leaders, that's our responsibility, to create environments where our teams are happy, where we're teaching. And then not only that, and I created a core value. It's happy team, happy firm, happy clients. Because if your team is happy, your whole firm is just gonna the energy, and it's an energy thing. She knows I do a lot of Joe Dispenza work and meditation. When that energy is high, everything changes. change your energy, change your life. So that's what we started to do. And I started to see I was already doing it, but now I'm like, let me document some of these things that I'm doing and how I'm, changing our law firm, creating a happy place. And hopefully now I can share that with more people. And so I'm trying to get more content out there. I have a talk about injecting happiness in your workplace through heart-centered strategies. And I think the focus should be on our hearts. And I say leading with love, practicing law with love. And like, how do you do that? Well, that sounds weird. How do you do that? Leading with your heart. Guys, our heart is the epicenter of our body, of the functioning of who we are. And it's also the center of our emotions. So, and there's a study with the Heart Math Institute. And there's been lots of, go Google them because it's really interesting. But when you feel emotions of anger, stress, just sadness or pain or whatever it is, when you're like, frustration, do you know what your heart rhythms look like? They look like this jerky thing, it's like, erratic. And when you have those erratic heart rhythms, that starts to affect the rest of your body. And eventually that's going to affect your brain. And you're not going to be able to even think clearly. So it's saying that, these bad negative emotions are going to affect your health and the way you're going to think and the way you're going to work. Now, if you have positive emotions that are, happiness, love, security, warmth, and gratitude, your heart rhythms look like this, rolling waves. And you function better. Your mind is clearer. You're able to get more work done, focus better. Don't you want a team filled with people that have rolling heart wave rhythms? So it's up.
And you know what? And I wanted to say that I love this because when our clients are coming to us, okay, I think obviously, and I think probably people would understand this, but there's 3 areas of law. I would say immigration, criminal defense, and family, that when your clients are coming to you, like they are such in a bad place. You get what I'm saying? Like they can't come into an environment where you're stressed out as an attorney or, your team is unhappy or anything like that, because it's like, how are we going to relieve their pain and show them that we got their back if we're all flustered, like, and I'm sure like this new way of you leading like your team and your clients and your business and things like that, it's got to be affecting your clients like on the ultimate. Like how do your clients feel? Like what are they saying or how are they now, I guess, approaching their immigration situations when they know that, okay, my attorney is calm, she's centered, she's got my back, and we're going to do this together?
I try to use super heightened authenticity, vulnerability for me, like care and like love. Like, so if I have a consult and, we do employment based. So sometimes I'm dealing with the HR, but a lot of times, even with our, physicians and, they get stressed out, and this is, I don't want them stressed out if they're having to go into surgery,
Right.
But when I sit down and I connect with my clients, and a lot of times it is over either a phone call or it might be over a Google Meet or Zoom, but no one else in the room, anything else around me is going to matter. Everything melts away because those connections, and I talk about that, meditation for me is self-love, and connection is love for others. So by giving my all to you in every way, they get it because I'm staring them in the eye. Like they're gonna feel it because I'm sending a lot of love out there, and time melts away sometimes. I like lose track of time all the time. I mean, like everyone's like, hello, you have another consult. I was really focused and in the present moment with the most important person right now. And right now it's you, Melaney. But that, if we forget about everything and just be in this one present moment, I think that has a profound effect on people, this connection you can have. And, that's why I guess I'm a woo, but strength finders, but I've also like, I want to be connected in that way with people. I have been, and I haven't been an immigrant. I haven't been through this process, but I've been through like a similar experience. I feel like with physicians and like the fertility process, where I was like, this is the most important thing in my life. No one's calling me back. No one cares. No one has time to even see me. Like I'm struggling over here and I don't even know what to do. And it just seems like I don't matter. And every single client at our firm, like they have my cell phone. I mean, but the team, like I start to model this behavior for the team. We talk about this all the time, guys. I mean, and when I hear some of my attorneys, I mean, I have Alexandra, she just, oh my gosh, she'll be like, oh my gosh, I was up all night worrying about that. I don't want her to be up all night worrying, but and then I just stop our whole meeting and I'm like, Alexandra, I love how much you care. And I love how much you love. And this is exactly, you're embodying all the core values of our law firm. And it's amazing. So, embodying those values, like, I mean, just connecting, using your heart. Sometimes you don't have to say a word. I change the energy in rooms without even doing that. But I also have lots of little things I say. So like I'll say, as we're going through the process, I'm like, I say this all the time. I can tell you the story behind this little phrase, surrender to the certainty.
Oh, I remember that. That was from like back in the day.
I've been using it like so much. I mean, it's just like my thing.
Because, and that's what immigrants have to realize, that this is not nothing's guaranteed, but this is definitely not like a guaranteed process. Like everything is uncertain. We don't know tomorrow if they're going to change a law, and we've already filed our petition or something, and now everything changes or anything like that. And I think that makes so much sense, because if you just say, I'm just going to surrender to the uncertainty and I'm just going to go with it, then whatever
surrender to the certainty. That's the difference. Because this is the deal. This is Marianne Williamson. Okay. This whole, like what she said, those that are certain of the outcome can wait and wait without anxiety. This is like, oh my gosh, you're right. Because I'm going to tell you this also. People kind of make themselves, or we are just automatically, that's how we're programmed. Our outside environment is using us like a puppet and our rag doll. If your child comes home, oh, I had a bad day because so-and-so didn't talk to me. No, you're in charge of your day. So-and-so should not be creating your day. This is what I'm teaching my children. Oh, or I had a great day because so-and-so was nice to me. No, you should always have your great day. Our outside environment cannot control our inner joy. That has been my life's work, like for the last several years, because, I don't want to even say what I'm going to say. SHIT happens all the time, I mean, it's just like, it's like everywhere. And like, we can either just be like, all right, I've got it. This is part of my journey. I say things like, this is Joe Dispenza, your greatest struggle will be your greatest teacher. Surrender to the certainty, let go, enjoy every present moment. And one day,
tell all your clients this.
I'm like, just enjoy your life. And one day you're going to wake up and have your green card. You'd be like, oh,
exactly. Then you're going to be a citizen, and then all is well.
And I have these clients, so we don't do a lot of this work, but they're really lovely people, and they had to do a 601 waiver. So, he had entered without inspection, married a US citizen, and they had to do the 601 waiver. Oh, it took forever. It was like, I saw them and kind of, I wasn't talking to them every day, but I saw them like, I talked to Alexander, who was leading the case, slipping away, like comments like, we've given up. We wasted our money. We're on antidepressants. We literally like suffering and agony every moment, but they're in the US. They're okay. We just have to get everything approved and go back to the consulate. And we didn't even know if he would get on the plane. It was like, but we just, we're like, love, it's going to be fine. Just, we're kind of like, I hope it's fine. But, he got his green card, but, then I wrote a blog about this because I was like, at what cost? I mean, that's 3 years. I know it took forever. It was horrible. Pandemic, delays, 3 years of your life, like agonizing. And I knew that they were just like, they really were, they were letting their, kind of those negative emotions really affect their health and their mental health. And
but you know what, though? You got to be strong. I always tell people you have to be strong and in this to win it if you're even going to marry an immigrant. Like, it's like something that you have to think about at the dating stage. Like I've been doing so much. It's so funny because I don't know if you've seen, I've started this whole 90-day fiance Friday thing because like for some reason, I don't know. Girl, I don't know what happened. Okay. All of a sudden I'm all about love and I don't even know where that happened. Okay. So I'm like all about, I love love. And I love these, fiance stories. And, you just happen to go out of the country and you find the love of your life and now you want to marry them and all that type of stuff. So it's like, but I've been trying, like, it's almost like you have to drill into everyone's mind. Like, this isn't like, you can't think on the fairy tale type of situation when it comes to immigration. You might be so in love, but you have to remember that you're marrying someone that, one, you're taking someone from another country. So you're marrying someone, or you want to marry someone who's in another country. They come here, then you do get married. You've taken them out of their element, away from their friends, away from their family, things like that. And you can't be having second thoughts. Like, I know, that everything doesn't always run smoothly, but it's something that you always have to think about from day one, because you are literally changing someone's life. It's not like they're just here in America and you guys could go your separate ways if you break up and it's no big deal. I had a gentleman come to my office the other day, and it's so funny what you were saying about connecting with people, because I think I've always been very like this. Okay. And the reason being is because being a police officer for 10 years, you can't have all these emotions going on. You know what I'm saying? You have to focus, do your job, and keep it moving. So I think through being an attorney and through this work, I have gotten more compassionate and more, emotional, and getting into like the stories of my clients and really like drilling in and asking them the right questions and things like that. And I had this gentleman come into my office, and he was here for a K-1 visa. He had met a young lady on one of like the apps. Like he was learning another language. Like this was something so random. Okay. And so he just wanted to learn another language just to, help his skills and things like that. Met a young lady, went to visit her and just like fell madly in love. Now I'm talking about this man is sitting across from me, okay, and he's a big guy, all right. He's a big guy. You can tell like he's a like one of those gentle giants or like a little teddy bear. When he started telling me about, when I started asking him questions and give me your story and tell me how you met and how does it feel and girl, he started crying in my office. He was so in love, and he just wanted this process to go through, like, so, and I couldn't do nothing but like, I got you. Like, we y'all gonna get together. We're gonna get her here. You're gonna get married. And he's like, I still believe in like the white picket fence, and I still believe in fairy tales and all this stuff. And I'm like, whoa. And then it just kind of like, all right, you know what? I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, I love what I do. It just felt so good. But yeah, it was cute though. I was like, oh my gosh. I told him, I put my paper up, and I was like, okay, I need you to stop. Like, because now I'm like bawling.
Yeah. I mean, this area of law, definitely, I mean, it's not easy to get through a lot of these cases, but there's always a happy ending, especially like us, we don't give up. Like, I'm not giving up on you. That's part of what this is. I mean, I need somehow, like, in my mind, I need to tie things up in a bow. But, there's different ways to advocate for your clients. I mean, I just had this experience at immigration. I wrote another blog about it on LinkedIn, but literally I was shocked because I've done it a couple times. But this was one of my physician clients, and we had an interview for the employment-based adjustment case, which is not that normal, but he had an asylum case. And then we got him an H-1B, and then he went out to Mexico, came back in. So he had an entry. Mm-hmm. Then we were able to do the green card through PERM. And so we were at the final step of adjustment. He's a physician working in the underserved area. And he was at the Atlanta Medical Center, but now he'll go to another hospital. But so I was like, hey, it's no big deal. It's going to be fine. I know he was a little nervous and everything, but I was like, I'll definitely be there with you. And then we get in, and this lady, like, I don't know, she was just had a bad morning or something, but she, like, I walked in, I was like, hi, and she's like, who are you? Elizabeth? She's like, her energy just like, when, like, you're like vibrating high, and then you walk in, and then somebody's like, whoosh, and you're like, whoa, wait, I gotta get my equilibrium. Whoa, that was like, and then she's like, I thought she was talking to my club. She's like, sit down. I was like, oh, me? Okay, sorry, but good morning. So I'm like, okay, let's calm it down. I was like, I got to do something about this, because she's like, oh no, I am not approving this case today. I don't have the asylum file. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay, no big deal. We'll figure it out. And then she starts going through the form with my client, and like, I was like, all right, IDs and all that. And then I'm like, all right, you got to love this lady hard, man. I call it, this is from a parenting book. Well, at least I saw it also in a parenting book called Good Inside, the most generous interpretation. So you always want to see the good inside, and you want to see the beauty of this beautiful woman in front of me. It could have been different, like I could have been like, oh my God, I need a supervisor, like, and I could have been reacting like a child. But what I did was like, I see the good inside this lady. I bet she has a beautiful family. I bet she like has that big belly laughs and is a joyful person. And I just want everything amazing for her. That's all I wish. And like, I'm just sending all this love I could out to her. I mean, it was just like, okay, is there like light beams shining out from my chest? Maybe, I don't know. But I was like, I always like to experiment like this. I just like when my kids are up to bat at baseball, I just send them all the love. And then that's when they hit it, and I'm like, oh yeah. So I'm always experimenting about this energy and stuff. And so she started to kind of loosen up, and we're not there very long. She laughed, and then she like reassured my client. And then by the end of the interview, she was literally stumbling over herself to like help us. I was like, we were looking at each other like, whoa, okay. And then we were like all discussing. I was like, well, how can we get this approved? We don't have the file. Oh, the medical was lost. Okay. She's like, well, you can. Then we were like, made an appointment. We were all talking, made an appointment. Oh, bring your medical tomorrow at 7 a.m. She's going to give you a piece of paper. You can get it. So that went fine. And then she's like, oh, you know what? There's an asylum officer here from Arlington. I'll run down the hall and I'll see if she can help with the asylum thing, because we need to get it withdrawn. I was like, do we really need to withdraw it? Okay. But if you say, okay. And then so she's like, she ran back. She's like, oh my gosh, she'll do this and that. And I think we can expedite it. And I was like, cool. And so, and then I was like, well, are you going to hold on to this file? Like the medical will come tomorrow, and then maybe we'll have the asylum like file as soon as possible. And she's like, oh, well, I'm going to hold on to this file until it gets approved. Don't you worry. And I was like, I love you. I just like, it could have been so different, but like 45 minutes later, I was like, I love you. Officer XYZ, you're my favorite person right now. And I'm like, so my heart's so full. And, we got that green card approved in a week.
Nice. Nice. But isn't it horrible though, how really USCIS officers really do kind of have like our clients like lives in their hand. Like if they're having a bad day,
they can make your day pretty bad. They can make your life
and that
bad.
Sucks. Like that's just to me just so, you know what I'm saying, like unfair. I mean, that's horrible.
I think a lot of things are unfair. I think life's unfair, and I think things happen for a reason. And I think I'm not going to be a victim anymore. I don't want my clients to be victims. I give them a lot of, I'm like, you are eligible for this benefit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Walk in confident.
Right.
Nice.
You're supposed to be here.
Grateful that we should be thanking you for being here and doing the work you're doing. Mm-hmm. So I try to switch that and a lot of the officers, and I feel I'm kind of friends with a couple of the officers. Like I have one, she loves all my outfits. We're like, oh, hey. She's like, can I have that handbag? I'm like, you can borrow it. Like, what about that? I'm like, okay. So, now
can I get that green card approved?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know when I go get it called into her office, everything will be fine. But she's like, yeah, we're working hard. And I'm like, thank you for working so hard for our clients. Like, I think everyone
are genuinely good. I mean, some are genuinely good, compassionate, like they.
Oh, believe me, I'm trying to forgive someone, an officer, and this is 2 years later, and I'm not there yet because of my beautiful client, and the discretionary decision that he made was just so harmful to her, and I'm not over it yet. That case isn't done in my mind. I'm still working on it. Like I'm going to figure out something. Sometimes solutions are not easy, and sometimes things take a long time. And sometimes we have to let things sit. And when I do my meditation work, and like, if anyone follows Joe Dispenza, just drjoedispenza.com or go to YouTube. I mean, we're all balls of energy, and we have the opportunity to raise, our frequency and our energy. And, we can stay down in this 3D world where we're moving things super slow, and it takes, like as a wave, there's like rest, and then there's motion and the arrest. And then as you get higher, the present moment, you're going a little bit faster, and you're able to put more information into the field, this energetic field we all have. As you get higher and higher to another frequency, we're getting up to where there's no time or space in the fifth dimension. There are limitless possibilities, and and then the waves go so fast where there's a point in like physics where you could vibrate at infinite speed and total rest. I would definitely choose that. So things could happen, at just a thought. People are just a thought away. And I know, oh, that's crazy. Just go study some physics and actually, but it's just something that we haven't heard a lot about. It's, but that's the future. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of this work and study I've been doing, it's like, wow, it gives me so much hope. Things around for me. And I want to, share this with my clients. We are the creators of our lives. The outside environment, whatever circumstances we have, do not determine our life. People can come and
I was going to say, and I was going to ask you, give us just like a little rundown on what's happening right now within business immigration. Like, back in the day, obviously things seemed like they were a little easier, you know what I'm saying? And things were flowing maybe a little bit better, but where are we right now as far as, there's a few things that have been, I didn't realize, like the 4 years of Trump, like what a battle we were in. And now that kind of
a little bit of that, like, whoa, PTSD kind of moments that I have, like that. Whoa, that was crazy. Where we had our cortisol high. We were being chased by a tiger for 4 years. We were in the flight or flight response constantly. React. And I think, hopefully in a calm way, I felt like we were resolute, but we still had that high level of reaction all the time. And now we're back to like, there's some sanity in leadership, but there are a lot of problems. A lot of things need to be changed that need statutory changes that only Congress can make. Like the first thing that happened last year, that I have never seen happen before is the delays with work and travel permits.
Yeah.
And that was like across the board, but that really affected a lot of our employment-based clients. I still have one pending, 15 months. We filed the adjustment in August of 2021. We don't have the work permit yet. So we're still trying to get, we've been expediting and doing a lot of things, and, some will get approved, some will get denied, but it was a real crisis. And sometimes I would get the green cards approved before the work permits even got approved. I mean, you are eligible to work and travel by virtue of just submitting the form I-485. I've got to wait for a year for you to issue a piece of plastic and like starve to death or what? It's not support my family. It's crazy. That was something that I was like, are you kidding? Now I just don't I'm like, work permits are going to take that long, because I was like, we're so used to 60 to 90 days. Mm-hmm. And now it's just, everything went out the window. So the director of USCIS, we're going to make some changes. We'll separate the work and travel. We'll adjudicate faster, not give combo cards. They're kind of doing some here and there. Like I've seen some combo cards now. I've seen things come through faster now. So maybe we're out of that just a bit. But the next thing that we're really seeing in the last year, so this huge labor shortage caused by the pandemic, we got call after call from employers that needed temporary skilled or unskilled workers. Many, tried to do the H-2B temporary worker program. And so this program is there's 66,000 available visas every year, the annual quota, and 33,000 every half year. So you apply. Now it's a lottery system, just like the H-1B. And in the past, I've seen groups, they group you into groups. So you've got to file like the first week of January. Group A, B, C, maybe D was the highest I'd ever seen. If you got an A or B, you had a fighting chance. We filed like the last couple times, A, B, C, D, E, F. Screw that. My clients got in like E and D. We didn't even make it out. And then I just got the last one. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, we'll file again for you, and we got one approved, but we just missed the quota because it ran out. We didn't get to file the I-29 with USCIS fast enough. So the H-2B program is the lottery now. It's, and they did issue some additional numbers, but they didn't help our client. It's a lottery. It's like, do clients want to pay all this money to not really have any kind of certain chance of getting workers? That's a nightmare program, but it's gotten worse and worse. I've never had this happen before where no one gets it. H-1B, same thing. So our U.S. employers are begging and pleading for solutions to get workers, to help them not meet the needs of the other U.S. citizens in this country. And so we need the unskilled, but now we need the skilled workers. So the H-1B, there were like 345,000 applications or submissions to the lottery, whether they were maybe fake or not fake or whatever. 20% or so got the lottery for H-1B this last year. So we got a few, but our rate was like 20%. That's unworkable. I mean, the demand is so great and no one sees this. We're still in such, I live in complete abundance. there are so many jobs and so many resources. Everyone's just freaking out and reacting about everything, but we're not listening to our employers. I mean, and we're not listening to the needs of our country.
Right.
So these two, like, if you're a professional, an H-1B is your visa. So unless you have an exempt employer, you got to go through the lottery now, maybe 3 years in a row. Maybe if you don't get it. Now we've been doing, like, some of our clients they're going back to school, and they're doing like a day one curricular practical training program that they can start work. We're just trying to find these solutions, but it's been really disappointing. And that's another thing. Final thing, well, a couple other things, but the labor certification process. We do a lot of labor certifications from anywhere from like the most unskilled job to the highest level job. Now, because of this H-2B issue, where we have 7 groups of however many, in the lottery, basically, they've got to work all these applications. So people are being moved from the permanent side, labor certification that goes around all year. And labor certification is the first step of the green card, to work the H-2B. And now prevailing wages. So you have to get a wage. So I'm going to offer a job to someone in my office. I'm doing 2 green cards right now for people in my office. One is a remote employee in Argentina. And so I define his job, whatever, legal assistant, and this is a minimum requirement. So I need to get a wage determination from the Department of Labor. There's a database and a worksheet. I know what the wage is going to be most likely, but they have to issue this. It's taking up to, 6, 8, it's kind of all over the place, but around 8 months. I have one pending at 12 months right now. That means that we used to try to do try to do our recruitment and kind of save some time. I've had recruitment go stale so many times now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? Because I don't want to wait until the prevailing wage. I mean, I can do that, but and some employers do that. But back in the day, it was 45 to 60 days to get a prevailing wage. We would do our 60 days of recruitment at that same time. You have up to 180 days to finish your recruitment. So then you can file maybe 70-day. And then it was pending with the Department of Labor, maybe, 2 to 5 months, depending on the time of year. And so we'd have in about 6 months, at the most 6, 7 months, if we're not audited, we'd have a perm approved, which is reasonable. If something went wrong, maybe we'd still have some valid recruitment to refile. Now, to get the prevailing wage, it's 8 months. I've got some that are like at almost 11 and 12 months. I'm like, how can I even predict this? And, processing times are 8 months. So now what used to take us about maybe 3 to 6 months, now it's taking us 16 months just to get the perm approved. And then if we're audited, then that'll add. So we're getting up to 18, 19 months. So that's a real issue when this is like the main way, really the only way to get unskilled to green cards. We're doing a lot of household employers. And so that's like all that we can do. So the wait times are tremendous. I mean, I turned around and I was like telling people one thing. And then I was like, it's way longer than that now. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was looking at stuff.
So at the end of the day, please don't call us and say, I need somebody to start work next month from somewhere.
I mean, if they're not in the US, like that could happen in certain scenarios. Like if they have an H-1B now, and you're transferring, we could probably do it. If they're outside the US and you're CAP exempt, or they, like we had one just like that, CAP exempt. So they were like, oh my gosh, we were trying to get him here. She was pregnant. She is pregnant. Oh, they were just and they were exempt employer. We got this RFE that was like request for evidence. That was so long, so mmany things. Like this officer just had nothing to do that day and wanted us to give him the kitchen sink. And she's over there like stressing out. So, but we get the approval. and that wasn't so long. I mean, we pushed that so fast and we knew it was urgent. But the consulates abroad, the appointments there, like they're not always available. So that's another, from the pandemic, we were having, I mean, this is like kind of still, there's backlogs on immigrant visas. We finally have most of our clients here that were stuck maybe 2 years abroad. Like I had one client from Iran, and she had her appointment before the pandemic. She just got it just like a few months ago, but it was just crazy. So I think a lot of times, things are just taking longer. And I tell my clients, I'm like, listen, one thing you can expect is change. So, we have the framework. We're on this, we're monitoring, we're going to let you know when there's a change, and anything that might affect your case. And we're going to be triaging our audits and triaging our RFEs and talking to our colleagues and all of that. And I think that's all you can do. But we still have a very high success rate. I mean, it's like 99%. I mean, and if it's the 1%, you know what? I'm filing again for you. I mean, I'm not stopping. Like, are you kidding me? If you don't give up on me, I'm not going to give up on you. So that's kind of how I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what the word is if it's just grit or perseverance, but I just do not give up on stuff. And I've got a lot of things in my mind. They're right back here. Like, I don't know, like the timeline is, I don't know the solution, but as I said, I'm trying to get myself up to that fifth dimension where there's no time or space and limitless possibilities, because somewhere there's a frequency where that possibility is happening. And I just need to be that match for that possibility.
We just always have to just let all of our clients know that, patience, just goes back to patience is a virtue. We'll get this done. We'll figure it out somehow. But there's some things that we don't have control over, but, stick with us because, this is going to work type of thing. So and I love. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, we just have a few minutes left. So if you want to give all of the listeners out there your name, your law firm, how to contact you, and, what type of cases you take, that would be fabulous.
Yeah, I'm Elizabeth Garvish, Garvish Immigration Law Group. We're actually going to start using a trade name soon. So we'll be Go Immigration Law. Yay. And I want to take my name out of the title so that we could, and we're able to now with state bar rulings and changes in the professional rules, so that my team is more invested in what we're creating together. And we're goimmigrationlaw.com, and we're employment-based lawyers. If you have a job offer, we can help you. Household employers, big employers, we're in the healthcare space, physicians, med techs, we represent hospitals and medical practices around the country. And then any other employer, but we also do investors when we do multinational managers. And now we're doing national interest waivers and EB1, extraordinary O1s. So entrepreneurs, we love. So yeah, I mean, we can help you in pretty much anything. And if there's something we don't do, which is removal and some criminal issues, we'll get to like an expert like Melaney. Help you.
She'll send you guys my way. I am Melaney LaGrone. I am the managing attorney of LaGrone Law, and we do immigration and criminal defense. So of course it's immigration, family-based, removal defense if it's here, and then of course are all over, and then criminal defense if it's here in Georgia, and then also too in the USVI, we're doing immigration now. So we want to thank everyone for listening to us. I certainly want to thank Elizabeth for being here today on our last session before we go on break. And contact us, contact Elizabeth if you have any of those business needs, contact me if you have any of those family-based needs or criminal defense. And we're all over social media, so you can find us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, follow us. Yeah, follow us on LinkedIn. I like to do I do a lot on LinkedIn. and Instagram is Garvish or Garvish Immigration. So follow us there. And there's always like cute videos or like my little experiences like you heard today. And I'd love you to comment and share those.
Absolutely. Me too. And girl, guess what? I've gotten into TikTok. So apparently I'm like, all that.
That's awesome.
Thank you everyone for being with us, and we'll see you in January.
Okay. Bye. Great to see you, Melaney.
You too, Elizabeth.
Take care.
You too.